Hillary, and I can't wait to talk to you about my third case type that I love doing. It's my birthday month, and so we're talking a little bit about me this month. I turned 38 this month, and I'm not going to go through the 38 case types I love, but I'm just going to do, this is our third week of doing it.
Hola, hola a todos. Muchas gracias por conectarte a la tercera semana de los casos que la abogada Hillary ama. Si ya nos acompañas en los pasados, ya sabes que es la celebración mensual de su cumpleaños 38. No vamos a enumerar los 38 casos que más amamos, pero vamos a estar hablando del tercero. No te lo puedes perder.
So one of the great plagues that almost all attorneys suffer from is the desperate need to be right. And it's not, I mean, it's like they should have it on the law school admissions exam, because if you like to be right, then you will like to be a lawyer. If you don't really care if you're right, then you're going to think being a lawyer is kind of dumb. But I love to be right, and I love to advance the reasons for why I should be right. And if any of you wonder about this, you could always ask my husband, because he knows that I desperately like to be right. And unfortunately, so does he. And therein lies the reason that we will always be working toward a better way. Instead of being right, we want to be effective, is the way we talk to each other. But in any event, in the law, it's so much fun to be right. And so let's talk about appeals.
Y al abogado, un mal que ataca a todos los abogados es la increíble necesidad de estar en lo correcto, de tener la razón. Entonces, esto deberían enseñarlo en la escuela de leyes, porque es tan obvio para los abogados. Si tú eres abogado, lo entenderás. Si no eres abogado, tal vez se te haga un poco tonto, pero es importantísimo. Si no nos creen, si no le creen a la abogada, pueden preguntarle a su esposo cuál es la necesidad de ella de estar en lo correcto. Él también tiene la necesidad de lo correcto, y es eso que juntos estarán siempre buscando no tener la razón, pero comunicarse efectivamente. Así es como lo manejan. Y en la ley es muy divertido explicar las razones por las que uno tiene la razón, y por eso el día de hoy vamos a estar hablando de las apelaciones.
And really, this is even beyond just being right. It's for the love of my country. So when we talk about appeals, it's because I believe, in my view of what the law says, the immigration judge or the intermediate court or USCIS or the intermediate court of the Board of Immigration Appeals, they got something important wrong when reaching their conclusion that's not helpful for my client. And so we want things to be correct, but if we don't hold judges and adjudicators to what the law says they should be doing, then what's the point in having rules? What's the point? Like, one judge is going to do this and one judge is going to do that. And the way the United States is built is every single judge should be applying the same rules in the same way all the time, because then we get the same result. That's the goal, is to get the same result so that the law is very predictable. And if we don't hold these judges and we don't hold these adjudicators at USCIS to the correct standard, then we're just going to roll over and say, you know what? It didn't quite work out. Where I come in and say, oh, F that. This is not okay. We're going to fight. That's what we're here for. Not only because I love to be right, but also because I love justice and I love accuracy and I love proper application of the law.
Sí, y más allá de tener la razón o estar en lo correcto, el amor de la abogada es con la ley, es con su país. Y a veces cuando hay alguna decisión, hay alguna aplicación, hay algún resultado que no está en ese procesamiento correcto y afecta a sus clientes, es donde ella tiene la oportunidad de entrar y luchar, porque al final las leyes de los Estados Unidos están creadas para que todos y cada uno de los jueces, de los entrevistadores, todos ellos sigan las leyes y podamos tener un resultado predecible. Podamos asegurarnos de que las mismas leyes, de que las mismas oportunidades están siendo dadas a las personas. Entonces, es parte de nuestra responsabilidad asegurarnos que la ley se está siguiendo al pie de la letra y que el resultado sea lo que se espera. Es por eso que como abogada a ella le toca mantener a los jueces y a los otros abogados conforme lo que dice la ley, no solo por el amor a estar en lo correcto, sino el amor a los datos, el amor a la justicia, el amor a hacer el procedimiento como debe de ser y lograr el mejor resultado. Es por eso que dependiendo de dónde tengas que apelar, puede ser el noveno circuito, puede ser UCIS, lo más importante será siempre conocer la ley, aplicarla de manera correcta y esperar que el resultado sea lo que tiene que ser.
And here's an example of how this attitude has been beneficial, not just in my career. So I have to, like, a hat tip to my very first boss right out of law school, attorney Steve Morris in Las Vegas. He is a legend. And his wife is a Supreme Court justice in Nevada. Like, they are legends. Talk about a power couple. But Steve taught me that every brief or everything he sends into court, motion, whatever, he believes he's going to win it. He just believes he's going to win it. He writes it so that he believes it's going to be granted and that he's going to win. And I think that when you bring that kind of attitude and that kind of, like, imagine a basketball player who goes and every time they shoot, they're like, I don't think it's going to go in, but I'm going to try. Versus someone who walks up and says, every single basket I'm trying to make, I believe is going to go in. There's something to our belief system. And Steve taught me, where I think a lot of other lawyers, they're like, well, I'm going to shoot, I'm going to file this, and we're going to see how it goes. And Steve taught me that you don't fire the gun unless you're going to hit. And that is a totally different way of lawyering than what some other people could have taught me to do and what I see other people do sometimes. So how this has been beneficial is I took an appeal for a gentleman. We love him in the firm. He's still our client many, many years later. But I took an appeal for a guy in 2019. He's a Mexican man who has U.S. citizen kids, and he had gotten a DUI, and he'd been put in jail for over 180 days, waiting for a 100-day sentence to be issued. So he was held for longer than he was actually sentenced for. And his lawyer got to his immigration court hearing and said, yes, judge, he was in jail for longer than is allowed, so we're just going to have to order him removed. Well, we appealed it and then had to appeal it again. So sometimes you have to fight not just once, you have to fight twice. And we won it, and we made new clarifying case law because of this man. If he'd gone to another lawyer or whatever, who didn't have the fight, who didn't have the chutzpah, the balls to say, I am going to fight for you, and I believe that we can win this, and believed it, then I think he would have gotten a really different outcome. And so appeals are such a powerful way of saying, this was not rightly decided, and I'm going to hold you to the standard of what our Congress, and when they were writing the laws, what they actually wanted this to be done. And that's the power of appeals.
Entonces, cuando la abogada piensa en apelaciones, tiene que definitivamente referirse a su primer jefe fuera de la escuela de leyes, el abogado Steven. Su esposa es juez en la Suprema Corte, entonces ahí son una pareja muy poderosa. Y lo que este abogado le enseñó, entre muchas otras cosas, es que cualquier moción, cualquier apelación, cualquier escrito que vaya a la corte, tiene que ir con el sentido de que vas a ganar. Él no tiraba para ver si entraba, para ver si sucedía, él tiraba a ganar. Y parte de esta mentalidad es súper importante en las apelaciones, porque puede ser que quizá te encuentres con otro abogado que diga, lo vamos a intentar y ver qué sucede. Y eso es muy importante, tener el sistema de creencias correcto para esta situación. Por ejemplo, ella recuerda un caso de un cliente que todavía está en la firma, que tomó en 2019. Él había obtenido un DUI, un manejar bajo la influencia, y había estado detenido por 180 días en lugar de 100, que era la sentencia original. Debido a esta detención, él había sido ordenado deportación del país, a pesar de tener hijos ciudadanos. Entonces, en este caso, la abogada dijo, no, esto no es correcto, tengo que decirles a los jueces que lo que dijo el Congreso cuando escribieron esta ley es diferente. Se apeló el caso, se tuvo que apelar de nuevo, porque a veces No toca luchar una, sino 2 veces, pero el resultado fue muy, muy positivo para nuestros clientes. El día de hoy la ley cambió y ya hay una aplicación diferente, pero esto quizá no hubiera sido ese resultado si hubiera ido con un abogado que no tenía esta mentalidad, que estaba tirando a ver qué sucedía en lugar de tirar a ganar, en lugar de tirar a obtener justicia.
Never give up. That's the bottom line. Never give up. It's a way of life. And I know my Mexican clients, especially my Guatemalan clients, so many people have that never give up within them. And that's so inspiring to me. So that is my reason for loving helping people. And I hope you have a great week. And I'll see you next time.
Todo esto para decir, no te rindas. Muchos de nuestros clientes mexicanos, guatemaltecos, muchos de nuestras personas en la firma tienen esa actitud ya dentro de ellos. No te rindas y es la actitud correcta. Queremos desearte que tengas una hermosa semana y nos vemos aquí la próxima semana para más información y más casos increíbles. Gracias, abogada.